Trojan family, what's going on? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB Network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyridge. Spring football is around the corner. One of the earliest practice beginnings for USC in quite some time here, literally starting next week. So USC just announced their dates sent over to us, so I wanted to share that with you. Unfortunately, these practices will be closed to the public, as they have been for quite some time. Us in the media will get to watch the stretching and individual drills. So essentially, every media available practice, we will be, allowed 10 to 25 minutes or so to be kind of in the facility watching. And then after practice, there will be media availability with coaches and players. So still, I think worthwhile, still get some good stuff and see who's trending. Last spring is when we learned a lot about some of these younger players. This spring, obviously, 33 of the 35 or 32 of the 35 commit to the 26 class are already on campus and have been. So we get kind of our first look of a lot of those dudes, and we kind of can learn how quickly they're assimilating within the system, within the program, and all that stuff. So I think there's still a lot of good stuff to come from it. I'm fired up. Feels like football never really left. After spring is when it gets a little rough, right? We get all these spring practices, and then after spring, we'll still have recruiting, some recruiting visits. Obviously all the officials in May and June, but you kind of have late April and then late June and July where it's like, it's a rough little time period because there's really not much going on. But, so like I said, starts next week. These spring practices, March 3rd, Tuesday to be exact, is when they kick off. They practice the 3rd, the 4th, the 6th, the 7th, the 10th. All these dates are up on LAFBNetwork.com. By the way, go to our message board, put the link below since I'm just rambling. But the 11th, the 13th, and then kind of a week off for spring break. And then come back the 24th, 25th, 27th, 28th, 31st, and then April 1st, 3rd, and 4th. So I'll have tons of coverage throughout those entire 15 practices for you guys, as much as I can muster up. We'll get as many questions to the coaches as possible. Now, two other things to note. No spring game again this year. And I know that's a big point of conversation. Some fans might not care. Some fans are probably upset by that, don't love it. The reasoning that we've kind of, not just we've been told, but I think he's publicly said it, because there's a misconception there that Lincoln Riley doesn't want the spring game because of the transfer portal. And then people were like, well, there's no spring portal anymore, so why would you not want to do it? That was never true in the first place. That was, I think, Matt Rule that actually kind of gave that reasoning of like, hey, why are we giving other teams free scouting and then these kids can go hit the portal? In reality, Lincoln Riley has said that, and you can still disagree or agree whatever you want, but you only get 15 spring practices. The spring game counts as one of those. So, and then in order to prepare for a spring game, because, you got to guide these guys, direct how you're going to run the spring game, you're taking time from other practices just to prepare for a spring game, which he feels, again, if you disagree, so be it, is not as worthy as having 15 just full practices to prepare. There's such limited time that these coaches get with these players on field that he feels it's more valuable for the team and the program to use all 15 of those practices for their own sessions instead of kind of a, glorified spring game, which you don't really see every player all the time. You can't all get the same amount of reps. It's limited time. So again, I think spring games are fun. I've always loved them. When Lincoln Riley first came to LA, they had the biggest attendance ever for a USC spring game at the Coliseum. So I think it was good for the fans. So I'm bummed to not see it or go to it. It's a nice, actual football that we get to watch in spring. But I do understand from a coaching's perspective the value of, doing it elsewhere. All these NFL coaches say all the time, and you guys know this, they say all the time, there is so much more value in joint practices than there are in preseason games. Whether you believe that or not, that's what they always say. So this is kind of a similar thing. Hey, there's more value in our actual daily practices than having to essentially use two practices dedicated to the spring game, when we want to do a lot of other things at our practices, especially with some of these new coaches we have on staff. So no spring game. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sure most of you still don't care and are upset by that. And then lastly, just so you guys know, March 12th is the pro day. So fun, should be a fun pro day this year. Mekhi Lemon, who, hey, hats off to Mekhi Lemon, who's going to do all the drills at the combine. Most first-round picks don't do the drills anymore these days. He says, that be damned, I'm running all the drills, all the routes, and performing at the combine in Indy, which is this week, started yesterday. So he'll be doing that. And then, at his pro day with plenty of other great Trojans as they prepare and get ready for the NFL draft. So that will be March 12th. So busy spring. I can't wait to bring you all the information, all the fun, all the analysis. So keep it right here, USC LAFB. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be from the Daru Dojo most often from campus. Maybe sometimes I'll be outdoors on campus, and obviously here in the Daru Lounge every now and then as well. So appreciate your family. As always, fight on.
What's up, Trojan family? Got to tell you about a quick update from our friends over at Sleeper. Remember, they're the #1 sports app and absolutely fantastic for fantasy and daily fantasy, but they've just added a fantastic new features, and they've launched team picks. So now you can choose winners of each game out there, whether it's NBA, MLB. I know football's over. It's coming back soon. Don't worry. NHL, all those. And you just pick the team winner of each of those games. So here in Los Angeles, Lakers, whoever they're playing next. Do you pick the Lakers? Do you pick their opponent? Dodgers season just around the corner. Are you picking the Dodgers or are you picking their opponent? It's that easy. It's that simple, and it's that much fun. So aside from fantasy, aside from the daily fantasy pick'em, now you can do the team picks that they just launched. So download the Sleeper app today, #1 sports app. Go and check it out and have a ton of fun, and make sure to keep it right here at USC LAFB.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.